Welcome to What's the Word? I'm your host, Jaime McFaden, and I'm so excited to have you here. This podcast is about all things wellness. Each week, we will focus on a word of the day, and I interview some of the most inspirational people I know and share that inspiration with you. Join me, let's learn together on What's the Word.
This is the place where I belong.
Hi, I'm Jaime McFaden, and welcome back to What's the Word. Today is a very special episode, and I'm going to tell you why. One of my favorite humans in the entire world is coming to join us today, and he chose the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yep, try to say that 10 times fast. Here he is. He is transformation radio host. He is the author of The Law of Action, and he is an incredible supercalifragilisticexpialidocious human, Rob Actis. Here he is. Hi, Rob.
Hi, Jamie. Glad to be here today. This is fun.
You're fun. I'm so happy you're here. And you are
Absolutely.
Mr. Voiceover himself. There are so many accolades. I could just go on and on about how incredible and amazing you are because I am a fangirl, right?
Yay,
So-
I know. That's so great. It's so funny because I'm a fanboy. It's just the craziest thing. Like
It's
that
so
is
wonderful.
Should we even dive and tell that story? I have to tell that story. It's so
I
great.
think we
Can
need
we tell
to.
that story?
Okay. Yeah, let's okay.
Okay.
So wait,
I just
before he
love
does,
it.
I'm just gonna preface that this is something you don't want to miss. So get your eyes and your ears ready for this. Go ahead, Rob. How did we meet?
So you are Jamie from that small little app called Active. And I have been using that for a while, and I have had such a crush on you since the very first day I heard you. I'm like, oh, I love her voice. I love her vibe. And I worked out. It was great. It was funny because my wife was always like, oh, you're working out with Jamie again? I go, yep, working out with Jamie. And it was so funny because I am all about intention. I think intention is so important. And it's so weird because I just had this intention. I said, we're going to cross paths. I just know it. And it wasn't even a week after that. Like, who would think that? It was just, I don't know. It was just kind of so serendipitous that we crossed paths. So here we are. I'm on Clubhouse. You're on Clubhouse. And I start talking. You crush on my voice and me and my energy. And it was so funny. And then we realized that we both had these crushes on each other. And then I think I sent you an Instagram message with my voice. I think that was what sealed the deal. Hey, Jamie, it's Rob Actis. I just wanted to say it's great to meet you. Great to have you on stage. Thanks for just sharing the spotlight with me. It was so great. And yeah, let's connect. That's exactly what I did.
It is exactly
It
what
was
you
so
did.
great.
It was so great. Yeah. So to anyone that's listening or watching right now, here's the deal. There is divine timing. Things are serendipitous and things are working in our favor when we choose to look at them that way. Rob is someone who has been in the voiceover world for many years. He started so many businesses. Like I said, he is just an incredible entrepreneur all the way around. And when we talk about inspiration on What's the Word, this is what we're talking about, right? Sometimes we get deep. Sometimes we talk about the dark side. Sometimes we talk about all the things. Today, we're going to be light. It's going to be fun. It's going to be happy. So
Love it.
get ready. Get your pens out because you're going to be taking notes of how Rob's going to be sharing with you some gems about what it means. Why did you choose the word supercalifragilisticexpialidocious? Let's just start there.
You know, I just trust in the universe. And that's the word that came to me. That was my download for the day was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And it's just such a powerful word. It's just such a powerful word. And, you know, when you think about it, you think from Mary Poppins when they're singing the song, oh, supercalifragilistic. And it's just so fun. You know, life can be so yucky. And it's yucky. This is a challenging time. And I will say that it's a lot more fun in life when you just like live your life like you want to be alive. So I've had a few near-death experiences and I just don't want to wallow into the crap. I want to enjoy every freaking moment because I truly believe from the bottom of my heart and soul that I'm on borrowed time. So every moment that I live, I'm doing something that's important to me. And it doesn't mean that I'm always on. Like last night, I went to bed really early, like 8 o'clock. And all I did was I told my daughter, I'm going to bed. Be quiet. I know you have friends coming over. I'm going to bed. So that's what I wanted you to know. And they were. I went in my room. I just laid there and meditated and did gratitude and just chilled. I have a refrigerator in my room, and I drank some of my little sparkling water, and I had another drink of water that I put my liquid IO in or whatever. I love that stuff, and it was just me time. And I took a shower, and I've just been going and going and going and going, and so that was my time. That was my time, and I'm such a great mood today. Like, my daughter's like, "You're in a crappy mood yesterday," and I was, because I didn't get a lot of sleep. She was loud with friends, and I'm like, I need my sleep. I need to recharge. And it's important to do that, to take care of yourself and to have that me time, because that's all we have. Our job in life is to just be the best me that we can be.
Right.
It's not about making anybody else better. It's not about making your partner better. Your job is to be the best you that you can be. And then, this is my shit. That's your shit. I'm going to take care of my shit. And that's the way the world should be. Because if you're the best you are, you rise the tide for all the other boats. And you don't have to worry about everybody else. Take care of you. And I think that's the biggest challenge that we have in this society, is everybody worried about what I'm doing and what you're doing. I can be thrilled what you're doing. And I'm elated that you're having all these new transformative experiences and new opportunities coming your way. But I have enough to think about my life than to think about your life. And everybody wants to think about everybody else's life because they don't want to think about their life. But our life is the most important, because this is it. This is our life.
Okay, well, you just segued into something. I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. I'm so happy to have you here. As you know, I run a self-care brand, the Wave by Jay system that we have, where it's all about well-being, awareness, vision, and execution through energy, right? So
Love it.
Exactly what you said. And it's all about self-care, filling up that cup, putting the oxygen mask on, because at the end of the day, we could sit and worry about somebody else, or just like you said, do all this stuff. So can you tell me right now, and tell everyone that's listening, like, what does self-care mean to you? Dive a little deeper in that. And how can we be a little bit more? So supercalifragilisticexpialidocious actually means, by definition, it's a nonsensical word that means extraordinary. So how can we bring, I love that too. How can we bring a little bit of that? Because you have such pep today. I'm like, we need to talk about this and self-care, because that's it.
Okay. So as a voice actor, I believe that coaching is really important. So I've always had coaches. So I had a voice coach. His name was Dan Ballestero, and he is a very direct person. And I was married, and I wasn't taking care of myself, and I wasn't in the peak performance that I needed to be for where I was at. I'm doing national commercials, and I wasn't doing as good as I should have been doing. And the thing was, I was really feeling guilty about self-care, because my now ex-wife was like, well, you don't need a massage. You don't need to do this. You don't need to eat healthy food. You don't need this. You don't need, that's being selfish. Well, what he told me was, Rob, you're a Ferrari, and you operate at the level of a Ferrari, and look at yourself in a high performance race car. You live in a high performance world. So you need to take care of yourself as a high performance human. So get your massages, eat really good food, demand very little stress in your life, demand that you get your sleep, get your health, take time out to exercise. You need your time. So I go through life and operate my life like I'm a very expensive high performance sports car. And doing that, if you drop, I have a friend that just did that. He dropped $349,000 on a Lamborghini. And I'm like, that's a lot of money. Well, let me tell you, I guess an oil change, I don't know everything about it, but I guess an oil change is like $20,000 or $30,000. It's a lot of money. Okay. So you're not going to go to Jiffy Lube and get the oil changed. And we humans, we only get one car. We only get us, and we don't take care of ourselves, and we feel guilty about it. I don't understand that. I don't understand how people want to go through this life and just exist. And there's so many examples of people that had near-death experiences that have fought for their life, and they just gave everything they had to live. And there's other people that just kind of mosey through life. This is not a dress rehearsal. This is it. This is all we got. And, whether you believe in an afterlife or not, it doesn't matter. But right now, while I'm here, I'm going to squeeze every ounce of joy and pleasure and every yummy moment of life that I can, because I know, and other people know that have experienced it, at any moment, it could be gone. Like, just like that. And so it's so important to, one, honor yourself. And if you're in a relationship and you have a partner, you're married, your job is to be the best you. So if you're not taking care of you, you can't take care of other people. You have to take care of yourself before you take care of other people. And it's not being selfish. It's actually being committed and taking a stand that you truly want to be there for the people in your life. That's what I say. And that allows me to get a massage every week. And I just had a facial yesterday. It was amazing. I mean, my friends tease me about that. I know, isn't that kind of cool? I love it. Yeah, that's Holly. She's amazing. She did this like jelly mask and she did the electrodes, and I was out cold. Like, I don't even remember. She's done. And I'm like, that was amazing. She goes, you were out, because she couldn't even wake me up. And she's like, I go, you did great. And I looked at myself in the mirror, and it just feels good to take care of yourself. A massage, eating good food, being mindful. Mindful is my new
so
thing.
let me I was going to say, because you just tapped into mindful, and I think, we're going into the holidays. There's a lot of joy and excitement around that, but there's also a lot of times people are stressing over, what do I eat? Do I do this? Oh, all this family stuff. There's so many things going on. I feel pulled in many different directions, which I feel like we don't wait till January to kickstart the engine. Like, it starts now, today, this moment. So for anyone that's listening right now, what Rob is saying, this is something that you need to be doing now. And we each get to define what that is. So Rob said he likes going to get a massage. He likes going to get a facial. He eats well. Like, you need to decide what it is that you need for your own self-care, right? So I want to ask you, for someone that's listening and going, okay, I'm ready to make a change. Rob's inspired me. Where do I start? Like, where does one start, in your opinion, Rob, if someone's just flipping that script?
Well, first of all, I would say follow Jamie, because she's amazing. And she's right on track to exactly what I'm saying. That's one thing I would say. But the other thing is you have to really get comfortable in that you are responsible for your life, and know that. So where you are in your life right now is based on all of the decisions that you made in your life up to right now. And that's where you are. What I mean by that, you're not to blame. Like, I'm not trying to blame you, but what I'm saying is, if you're 5 pounds overweight and every weekend you go and eat, bonbons and sit in front of the couch and don't move, that may be one thing. Or you drink a lot of soda. I'm not a nutritionist, but I'm just giving you. So those are things that you took action on, made a conscious decision to do, or unconscious, doesn't really matter, because ultimately it's in your body, so you're responsible. And that's the result. So with that is so beautiful, because you are responsible. That means starting right now, you're responsible for the other decisions that you make. So that's the cool part about it, is at any moment you can shift. And I will tell you this, if you don't take care of this high performance race car, if you go and get a $49 oil change for your Lamborghini, eventually it's not going to perform at the level that it needs to perform. And that's the universe letting you know, hey, you get sick. Okay, got it. Get a little sicker. You're not paying attention. The universe kind of taps you on the shoulder, and then they do one of these, and then they do a stick over your head. And they're very clear clues of how you should be living your life, and if you're living it right. I don't get sick. And the reason I think I don't get sick is because, one, I'm very mindful of how I live my life. Two, I am so grateful for every freaking moment that I have on life. I don't waste it. And I am so committed to empowering others to live every day like they want to be alive. And I get such joy out of that. I've faced near death. I've almost died multiple times. I had a 357 Magnum put to my forehead in an armed robbery. I thought I was going to die. I had a blood clot. I shouldn't be alive right now. For 3.5 months, I fought to not die. I fought so that a blood clot wouldn't break away and go and give me a massive stroke and die. I did for 3.5 months. I just laid in a bed. And I don't want that for anybody else, because at any moment, your life can be gone. And at any moment, other people's lives can be gone. So think how it would be the one person you love the most. And you're like, oh, I'm too busy. I can't go see you. I'm too busy. And then you get sick because you're just so busy. You're not taking care of yourself. You're sick for a couple of weeks, blah, 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 blah. And as you're sick, you realize, oh my God, my friend that I was going to see was hit by a car and they're gone. Don't waste those moments. All we have in this life is people. That's the most important thing. I will say the one thing, everybody that I know on my podcast, is when you're facing a near-death experience, the one thing that comes in front of your mind is regret. It's not about, oh, I wish I would have bought a bigger house. I wish I would have had a better car. It's, I wish I would have spent more time with the people that are important to me. That's the one thing you want. And that's why people fight so hard to stay alive, because they want another moment with their inner tribe, with those special people in their lives. And that's what I want for all of you, because life is so great if you allow it to flow and get in your lane and honor yourself by doing that self-care.
Wow. Well, I'm sure it's not me here that's just got like tears flowing down my face. Look at you.
No, I got it too.
Sir. I thought we're keeping it. He tells me when we first start, we're keeping it light and positive today. And here we are crying together on the show, but it's so true.
Look,
and this is the flow.
I'm just a vessel. I'm just a vessel. Whatever gets downloaded into me is I just deliver the message. I'm just a vessel. And that's what came through. And there's someone in this audience that really needs to hear that, because they're not paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. And with all the listeners from What's the Word, I guarantee that there's not just going to be one, there's going to be multiple that resonate. I mean, even me, and I feel like right now I live that daily, just like you. Even in that moment of just hearing you say that, I was like, I got to spend more time with my grandma. I got like, you know, it's like that comes up.
Well, we're responsible for the time we spend and how we choose to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't be mad. You can't be mad at yourself. You made the choice. You made a conscious. Right. You know what? I was going to visit my mom. However, you know, Squid Game was on Netflix, and I decided to watch that instead. That's your choice. It's not a bad choice, not a wrong choice. It just is. Right. And when you know that, you can make adjustments. And you knew, you know, I was on another podcast, and I've been talking about this for a while, and it's the 60-minute conversation. And, you know, people say, well, I don't know what's important in my life. I don't know what really, you know, I like the house, I want the car, what's important. And I'm like, okay, imagine for a moment. You're asked to sit in a chair. You wait. Someone comes in and says, hey, Rob, you have 60 more minutes left of life on this planet. What are you going to do? Choose wisely.
Drop the mic. Wow. I encourage everyone that's listening or watching this to take some time today, even if it's 5 minutes. Get a journal out. I keep them everywhere. Go get some journals. Write down, what would you do in that 60 minutes? I think that's such an incredible exercise that for any of us, wherever we're at today, take 5 or 10 minutes and actually sit and think about that. See what comes to you. Allow your feelings to feel something, to resonate with what it is that really matters to you. Because it is true, just like Rob's saying, for many of us, it's not until we're faced with something so terrible or tragic.
Right.
That's usually what is the catalyst for change in many lives, which, okay, I used to say if I had a superpower, I'd want to heal. And then as I got older and started thinking more about it, I'm like, wait, But then if I healed everybody and everything, nobody would go through anything that I don't think it would be like, for me, the trials and tribulations and tough shit that I've gone through allowed me to be here today. So I don't regret that. I'm not hasty about that. It's part of the journey. And we're here right now in this moment, you and I and everyone that's listening or watching. And that in and of itself, to me, is a miracle. This is supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm blown away by you every time we ever talk. I don't know why we don't talk more. We need to change this. And so I want to know, Rob, because I guarantee everyone's going to right now go, okay, where do I find Rob? Where is he? Like, how do I follow him? How do I connect with him? Can you just lay that out?
Yeah. Well, one way you can connect with me is, and I highly recommend it, is I'm the narrator for Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning audiobook. So I would recommend that you go and get the Miracle Morning audiobook. And if you don't like to read, don't worry, I'll read it to you. There's 33 books of mine that I have on there that I've narrated. I'm actually in the middle of a new one, which I think I'm definitely going to send your way. It's the Miracle Morning for Parents and Families, and it's version 2. I'm just finishing up right now. It'll be released in just a matter of days. And then the audiobook is right behind it. I'm just finishing that up, but it's great. I love it. It's such a great book. The Miracle Morning is so transformational to me. Hal Elrod is so inspirational. He is such a beautiful soul. He has gone through so much. And if you're not familiar with the Miracle Morning, the most successful people that I know in this world have morning routines. And if you don't have a morning routine, this is a way to get a morning routine. This is not a commercial for the Miracle Morning. I'm telling you, this is what I've been doing for 8 years now, the Miracle Morning, and my life has transformed. You go to bed with intention, you wake up with intention, and you live an extraordinary life. And
a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious extraordinary life.
Exactly. You can reach me. I'm a podcaster, so you can hit me up on all the podcast platforms. I have Life Transformation Radio. I have the Living Law of Action show. I'm now the host and producer of Podopolo Unplugged, the weekly Hot 10, which is, I'm going to be turning you on to podcasts you didn't know that you should know. And that happens every week. You can find on podcast platforms, and you can hit me up on Instagram or robactis.com, or I'm pretty easy to find. So yeah.
You're so amazing. Well, we're gonna be spreading the love, because Rob, that's exactly what you do. Every single moment I've ever spent with you, talking to you, texting you, voice memoing each other, you are a real ray of sunshine. And what I love is, just like all of us, we all go through the shit. We all go through the tough times, but it's really about how we deal with that, how we react. Yeah. And no matter what, Rob, you always are putting the good energy out there, the love, the support, and then the real deal of like, this is your one shot. This is your Ferrari. I love that you said that. Think about this today when you're doing whatever you're doing, whoever's listening. Rob just brought up such a great point. This is our one vessel, right? So literally take a moment to think about what is the best luxury item you could ever imagine having, whether it's the car, the purse, the house, this, like what we have right here beats all that times 10. And so Absolutely. If we can start even just 1% a day acting like that, taking action. And actually, let's talk about your book for a second here. The Law of Action. Can you just, can you give us a little love on the Law of Action?
Yeah. So the Law of Action was written and put together when I was laying in bed trying to not die with my blood clot. And I had a lot of time to think, and I was thinking about my life, and I was thinking of the good and the bad and the ugly. And I had a really challenging life. I didn't have a good childhood. I moved out when I was a teen. I was a victim of sexual abuse. I was beat by my stepdad, a violent alcoholic stepdad. And look at me. And so what was interesting is that, I wanted to be in radio since I was 4 years old. I was a precocious little kid, and I stood in front of the TV when Laughing was on, and my family, and I said, hey, I want to talk on TV. Now, did I know what I was talking about? No, I just somehow knew that I wanted to do that. And when I was 7, 8 years old, I was playing radio, and fast forward to junior or even 6th grade, I was the MC for the Roadrunner of the Week award that we did in school at 6th grade. So like I was in front of the camera and always doing stuff, not camera, but I was in front of the audience. And then in junior high, I was making announcements and I was in the TV news, and I got into a friend that had radio. And then I eventually became a top radio personality in San Diego. And I was there for 15 years. And now I'm a voice actor and I do national TV commercials. And so what I discovered was when I was in my flow and I was taking action, everything just moved so swiftly.
Yeah.
And when I wasn't, and I was doing other stuff, it was such a grind. It was such a grind. Everybody, my mom always said, life is so hard. And I go, I don't think it is. I mean, even as hard as it is, I'm just like, I don't think it's supposed to be like that. And my family says that sometimes, like, life is hard. And I'm like, I don't buy into that. I don't want to be in that lane. So I'm going to find the lane that is there. So the book is all about breaking through your fear and living a life of inspired action. It's based on the law of action, which I decide, plan, and act. So you decide to do something, you plan to do something, then you immediately take action. People are listening going, wait, I'm going to do that. No, very few people do. But what happens is when you take little baby steps and you decide and you plan, and then you're stuck by fear to get into action, you just harness that fear, embrace it, and break through with that fear into action. And when you take those little baby steps, almost like a freight train, when it starts, mile-long freight train, and they start that engine, it just kind of goes really slow, and it builds up that momentum, and it goes faster and faster and faster and faster. That's what happened. The most successful people that I've met, and I interviewed them in the book, and they decide, they plan, and they act. And they decide, they plan, they act. They do it throughout the day. And the more they do it, it creates this muscle. And they admitted in the book where they decided, they planned, and they failed to act, and what it cost them. One didn't make the US Olympic team. One lost millions of dollars. So people think that when they don't take action, that nothing happens. No, there's a consequence by inaction. And so it's designed to help you realize that you can, one, break through your fears. There's incredible stories of people that have done that. And it makes it very simple on how to live a life of inspired action by creating that momentum of deciding, planning, and then acting. And the best part about decide, plan, and act is that when you decide, plan, and act, if it doesn't work perfectly, you can pivot, you can shift, and you can adjust and go and do it again. You can take those baby steps to get to those big steps. You don't have to do the giant thing. That's it.
DPA, baby. Decide, plan,
DPA,
action.
baby.
DPA all day today. So yeah, for those that are listening and watching, I know you're doing 5 minutes. We've got a lot of homework for you today. All these listeners are like, wow, I've got, my 60-minute write out of what my life's purpose is. We weren't going to go deep today, but we're going deep, but it's in a really beautiful and profound way, using Rob's incredible gems that you always drop. Gosh, I'm so happy you're here. Before we wrap this up, is there anything, any final thought that's coming to you right now that you'd like to share with the What's the Word audience?
The holidays are a difficult time for a lot of people. And what I invite you to do is to really dive deep into yourself. And honestly, just consider the holidays like a roller coaster ride. Just strap in and hold on tight. None of it matters. It doesn't matter having the perfect meal. You can strive for that, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It's like this. I was a DJ for wedding receptions. I've done like thousands of wedding receptions, and now I'm an ordained minister. And so now I have a chance to speak with the bride. And I always tell them, I said, I just want you to know, this is all about you. Don't worry about anything else. What's going to happen is going to happen. If an 18-wheeler comes crashing through your reception area in the middle of your first dance, that's just what happened. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Whatever happens is the experience. You now are married. The way that I ask you to look through the holidays is that you're alive and you have the family, and just ignore all the extra stuff. It doesn't really matter. If you go in that room and you get your 60-minute note, none of it's going to matter. You're going to go, oh, 60 minutes. I got to make sure that the holiday decorations are all up and stuff. No one cares. No one cares. It's all about the experiences. Now, if you can flip the script, and instead of the house has to be perfect because the house has to be perfect, instead of, like you, Jamie, I just want to have this great experience with my daughter and hang tinsel, or I want to decorate the tree. Not like the tree has to be done, but it's the experience. It's that connection with another human that's important to you. That is what's important. But all the other stuff,
Yeah.
don't get stressed out. Just don't. Just flow and just breathe a lot, be grateful and be mindful. Like, enjoy the moment. Like, that's a whole other show. We should talk about mindfulness.
Well, we're going to have to do another one with you, Rob.
All right. Well, I'll come back.
You sealed that up with a bow so perfectly right now as we're going into the holidays, and then wrapping it up with just remember, be mindful.
Yeah.
Rob, I just want to take a moment to really just honor you, to thank you for taking the time, your precious and wonderful time, to share it with me and the audience that will watch and listen to this. I am so happy to be on this journey with you. I'm so happy that life connected us through our voices. How cool is that?
It's amazing. It's so cool. It's so cool. And I just want to congratulate you on all your success. You are definitely an action taker. You definitely don't let fear stop you, and you overcome some incredible obstacles. And I will say another thing. I've never met you in person, but just being a voyeur on social media and seeing the posts and our conversations, you're one hell of a mom. Like, one hell of a mom. The connection you have with your daughter is so beautiful. You're one of my most favorite Instagram posts. I love those. So beautiful.
I'm wiping more tears out of my eyes. Can you actually someday, when I get married, can you come to my wedding?
Heck yeah.
Yes. All right, cool.
Heck yeah.
So with that being said, that is it for our episode of What's the Word today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my goodness. I hope that after this, everyone feels supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, because I can tell you right now, I sure as heck do. So Rob, Thank you. I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, and we'll be talking soon.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for joining me here at What's the Word. Follow us on social media with the links on the screen, and don't forget to like and share with your friend. Your support helps us grow and continue to make inspirational content. See you next time on What's the Word.